Welcome back to another VeVe Digital Collectibles video. I'm Corey with VeVe, and today we're talking about a super exciting one, especially for all of you Star Wars fans. Coming from Lucasfilm, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of an epic movie, Return of the Jedi. And as part of this celebration, you're getting the opportunity to collect the Return of the Jedi #1 digital comic for VeVe variants and participate in our first ever comic crafting event. We've a ton to cover, the crafting for VeVe variants, and we even got concept art and quotes from the artist involved. But first, let's go over the drop details. Return of the Jedi #1 is scheduled for release on December 15th at 8 a.m. Pacific time, meaning 6,850 editions across the 5 rarities. This comic will have a retail price of 10 gems. And if that limited edition and 4 VeVe variants isn't enough, this one also is sporting our first ever comic crafting opportunity. Store purchased comics will be available for crafting into a free poster collectible, which will be a framed replica of whichever cover you receive from the drop. For more information about this crafting opportunity, check the video description. There you'll find the blog link with step-by-step instructions. Alright, let's nerd out about this one because there's a lot to unpack, including the return of the original cover artist Bill Sienkiewicz for a VeVe variant. Let's get right into it. On May 25th of 1983, Return of the Jedi would be released theatrically. Fans would watch on as Luke Skywalker faced off against the likes of Jabba the Hutt and his own father, Darth Vader, in his bid to save his friends and support the Rebel Alliance. That May, as fans eagerly consumed everything Star Wars, Part 1 of 4 of the comic book adaptation of that movie would hit the comic stands. Imagine the excitement Star Wars fans had when these were published in the pre-internet age. In those days, if you wanted Star Wars lore, you'd need to read the books or watch the movies. But comics, on the other hand, gave you more than just words. You'd get drawings and illustrations too. Speaking of, one of the notable aspects about this comic is the depiction of Jabba the Hutt. Collectors on VeVe will remember when Star Wars #1 was released from Lucasfilm. That story followed the original 1977 A New Hope storyline. The second comic in that series, Star Wars #2, would reveal Jabba the Hutt for the very first time in a comic book. We'd see the epic Greedo versus Han Solo scene, and then Han would leave, go to his ship, and he would bump into Jabba the Hutt. But hardcore Star Wars fans will also know that the on-screen appearance and depiction of Jabba the Hutt would change dramatically between the 1977 A New Hope and the 1983 Return of the Jedi. As such, the comic we're talking about today, Return of the Jedi #1, would give us the first depiction of Jabba the Hutt in his new form, as it was reflected in the 1983 movie. For those of us here on VeVe, we're also getting the opportunity to collect 4 made-for-VeVe variants coming from some amazing artists. Artists like Rood, Nicoletta Baldari, and Diogo Saito. And best of all, this includes an exclusive cover from the original artist of the original cover, Bill Sienkiewicz. Alright, let's take a closer look at each and every single one of these variants, and keep in mind this is a limited edition release with only 6,850 spread out across the 5 rarities. First, the common variant is minting 4,110 editions. This is a replica of the original main cover that was released back in 1983. The legend, Bill Sienkiewicz, was the original cover artist, and he gave us a classic and beloved comic cover. This art features Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Lando Calrissian in his skiff guard disguise. Next out on common is the Saito variant, and it's minting 1,540 editions. For fans of Star Wars comic book art, Diogo Saito is becoming one of the names to watch. His prolific works have crossed across many Star Wars titles, and this VeVe variant just adds to that portfolio. As you can see on screen from the artist quote, this cover homages one of the most iconic moments in the comic, where Luke Skywalker battles the Rancor in the underbelly of Jabba's palace. Coming in at rare is the Baldari variant, and it's minting 685 editions. Nicoletta Baldari's whimsical use of color and styling have made her a fan favorite of comic collectors on VeVe. It's easy to see why when we look at this variant cover. Darth Vader's helmet merges with the Death Star in the background, while Luke and Vader duel in front. We also get to see the Millennium Falcon and TIE fighters streaking across the panel. This cover just adds to Baldari's growing body of work on VeVe. Next, we have the ultra-rare Rood variant, and it's minting 340 editions. Fans of Star Wars will know that Rood is one of the most prolific Star Wars artists out there. On this cover, we see Vader walking down the ramp of his shuttle to check the progress of the Death Star 2 construction. Rood's talent, painterly style, and ability shine through with this highly rendered and crisp depiction of Darth Vader. and it's really awesome to be able to see this comic go from concept to beautiful cover. Finally, at Secret Rare, we have the Sienkiewicz variant, and it's minting 175 editions. The importance of this VeVe variant can't be overstated, as it was created by the legendary artist of the original cover, Bill Sienkiewicz. Not only does this set a new precedent for comic variants on VeVe, this truly celebrates the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, both the movie and the comic. It's amazing to see this piece go from concept to final product, and it's a beautiful tribute to the legacy of the movie and the art that have made this movie a fan favorite. And that's a wrap for this video. A ton to be excited about with this release. 4 VeVe variants, an epic 40th anniversary celebration, comic crafting for the very first time. But beyond all that, what is your favorite cover? Let us know down in the comments. And until the next breakdown video, keep learning, sharing, and collecting what you love. This is Corey with VeVe, signing off.